Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your Vino Shorty, and today we're going to take a look at the latest Ghost Spider. Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider. Feels like there's an awful lot of these out at the moment. They don't seem to last very long, and I have tried reviewing them in the past. The last one I read, the one called Smashing It was, where it's being a drummer, and it involved Dazzler. I did genuinely read it, and I unfortunately kind of bounced off the idea of reviewing it. Not because I didn't like it, or because I disliked it too much. It was just so very middle of the road. I didn't really have much to say about it, and it's kind of frustrating to review where you're just like, well, it's fine, I guess, if you like that kind of thing. It doesn't take 5 minutes, and I know these reviews are short anyway. But this one does at least have some stuff to talk about. First off, I'm going to talk about the writing. I'm just going to remind myself, yes, Stephanie Phillips, who is a fantastic writer. I've enjoyed a few of her stuff before, and I was very excited to see her on it. And her writing does work really nicely here. She has a very cool, very dry sense of humour, so we do get like some of the quippy characters you expect from a Spider character, but in a way that does feel markedly different. It leans into a little bit the fact that Gwen has gone through some very, very confusing, convoluted, terrible things recently, and is a person without home, without an identity, without friends, without even like a guiding mission or a guiding light to tell her what she should be doing or why she should be doing anything. So she doesn't have the easygoing, quippy sense of humour of other Spider individuals, but she still has humour, and it comes across in more cutting asides and little bits of self-deprecation, and it's brilliant for that. The story also is really, really good. Now, I don't know too much about what happened. Like I say, I only read the first issue of Spider-Gwen Smash, and it was fine, but it didn't really make me want to go and read the rest of it. Now, I know it does tie into what's happened here and why she's back in Universe 616, I believe. I think you need to know that. Like, I've read issue 1 and I'm now just on board with what's happening, because we don't really get much explanation for why she's where she is or why it's so dangerous, but we absolutely know it's dangerous because we get OB from the TVA turning up, and it's really nice to see OB in a comic book again. And he is clearly terrified about what could happen, and that she's not allowed to use her, apparently, symbiote suit. I had no idea it was a symbiote suit. I don't know enough about the Spider people. And she can't, like, let anyone else know she's there. But very early on, we see her stop bank robbers in her suit, and it gets loads of people filming it, and it ends up in the news. And OB is like, well, rather you didn't do that. And we do know that it's a dangerous situation, but we don't know why. And we also know that because she's now there, they're going to send people after her. And they do. They send Kraven after her. And it's really, really fantastic. He's a great over-the-top kind of villain. They kind of really quite like every once in a while, where you don't need too much complication about who he is or his motivations. He's Kraven. He's a bad guy. He just turns up and does bad guy things. And for an issue 1, it keeps the pace flowing really nicely, that we go from that high adventure to kind of solitude and thinking on very deep thoughts to then high action adventure again. The only thing about it, which is a bit of a letdown, is the artwork. It's not terrible through and through, don't get me wrong. Gwen's costume does look absolutely spectacular. The detailing is superb, even down to the tread on her trainers looks fantastic. When we get the action sequences, I do think it's pretty good in terms of how the action moves around the page, and it looks dynamic. But I am let down by them not only using motion blur, which I don't mind to a certain degree, Daniel Warren Johnson does the great effect, but also motion lines. And I can't help but feel if somebody's upside down doing the splits, kicking somebody in the face, we have to kind of, as readers, understand that that is not just how the character exists in the world. They are moving to do that, and we don't need motion lines to show it. More than that, though, it also goes towards an awful lot of things I don't like about Marvel artwork in general. It's very simplistic sometimes, to the point to its massive detriment, where expressions and detail on faces just seems to be vacant and they look vapid as a result. They don't fall into the trap of just having blank pastel colours for the backgrounds. There's at least detail in that. But they also really don't seem to have a good grasp of POV and perspective. Sometimes we get like an angle which looks like it's done to make the scene look interesting, but what really looks like is people are standing at angles like that next to each other. And it makes it really awkward to try and figure out why they've made these choices when they don't clearly know how to effectively do it. Throw into the fact that it's also really oversaturated on the colouring, to the point that it gets in the way too much, and there are times when subtlety is your friend with this kind of thing, but no, it goes like really, really heavy, especially when you compare it to the simplicity of the line. It looks like a really weird mishmash where the creators haven't really had a chance to talk to each other about what their intent was, and it comes across as being just a little bit of a mess. I like the writing. Unfortunately, the art is the turn off for me. I don't think I'll be carrying on with this one. It's another Spider-Gwen where I've tried, but it just hasn't landed, unfortunately. That's it for me for now and for the week, because I'm going to Wales. So enjoy your weekend, everyone, and until I see you again, look after each other. Stay safe. Bye!